In the far north of our world, there lies a great island of ice and stone, a place where the seasons are measured in light and darkness, and where life is shaped by the immense silent power of the ice sheet. This is Greenland, Kala Alit Nunat, the land of the people. From a distance, it appears as a frozen monolith, a vast wilderness seemingly inhospitable to human existence. Yet nestled along its dramatic fjord-carved coastline in the narrow habitable fringe between the ice cap and the sea, communities have thrived for centuries. This is not a story of mere survival in a harsh land. It is a story of home. It is a portrait of a modern society built on ancient foundations, of families and communities bound by a shared resilience and a profound connection to one of the most challenging and beautiful environments on Earth. This is a journey into the heart of Greenlandic life, to understand the quiet strength, the enduring traditions, and the daily realities of the people who live at the very edge of the ice. To comprehend Greenland, one must first appreciate its staggering scale and the dominance of its ice. The Greenland ice sheet is the second largest body of ice on the planet, a relic of the last ice age that covers over 80% of the island. This colossal frozen reservoir, in some places 3 kilometers thick, dictates the terms of life. It is the source of the colossal icebergs that drift down its fjords and the reason that human settlement is confined to a narrow, rocky coastal strip. This is where the ice yields to tundra, mountains, and the deep cold waters of the North Atlantic and Arctic Oceans. The population of Greenland is just under 57,000, a number that would barely fill a small city stadium, yet it is scattered across a coastline longer than that of the continental United States. This sparse population lives in towns and small settlements, each an isolated pocket of civilization. There are no roads that connect these communities. The vast, rugged interior and the ever-present ice make their construction an impossibility. This fundamental isolation is not just a logistical detail. It is a defining characteristic of the Greenlandic experience, shaping everything from social life to the national economy. The climate is a formidable and constant presence. Winters are long, profoundly dark, and intensely cold. In towns like Inuit on the west coast, or the more remote Tasiilaq in the east, temperatures frequently fall to -20 or 30 degrees Celsius. For months on end, the sun does not rise above the horizon, a period known as the polar night, which cloaks the land in a prolonged, ethereal twilight. The sea freezes over, locking harbors in ice and cutting off maritime travel. Summer, in stark contrast, is a season of perpetual daylight. The midnight sun circles the sky without setting, a phenomenon that infuses the land with a sense of urgent, boundless energy. This dramatic oscillation between months of darkness and months of continuous light is the fundamental rhythm of the Arctic. It governs the migration of animals, the growth of plants, and the patterns of human activity. Life here is a constant negotiation with the elements. The weather is not a passive backdrop. It is an active participant in daily life, a force that must be respected, understood, and prepared for. A sudden storm, a change in the wind, or the unexpected breakup of sea ice can alter the course of a day in an instant, demanding a level of adaptability and resilience that has been honed over millennia. In a land defined by vast distances and physical isolation, The strength of the community is the bedrock of society. The true heart of Greenland is found in its small, tightly knit towns, where life unfolds at a human pace, built on a foundation of interdependence and mutual trust. Because each community is a self-contained world, relationships are deep and multi-layered. People are not anonymous neighbors. They are colleagues, relatives, and friends. Their family histories often intertwined over generations. This profound sense of interconnectedness fosters a powerful feeling of belonging and a shared responsibility for the well-being of the community. The daily routine for a Greenlandic family is grounded in practicality. The day often starts early, particularly for those whose livelihoods are tied to the sea. Fishermen head out from the harbor in the pre-dawn light, their boats cutting through the dark, cold water. For others, the morning is a familiar rhythm of getting children ready for school, followed by work in the public sector, local businesses, or the tourism industry. In the smaller, more remote settlements, daily life is even more closely aligned with the seasons and the hunt. Here, the line between work and personal life is often blurred. The successful hunt of a seal or a muskox is a community event, the news spreading quickly through the small cluster of houses. The catch is rarely kept for one family alone. It is distributed among relatives and elders, a practice rooted not just in generosity, but in an ancient and practical system of social cohesion that ensures everyone is provided for. Social life is centered on the home and community gatherings. During the long, dark months of winter, the home becomes a sanctuary of warmth and light. It is a time for kaffemeek, a cherished Greenlandic tradition. These are open house gatherings, often held to celebrate a birthday, confirmation, or anniversary, where friends and neighbors are invited to drop in throughout the day for coffee, homemade cakes, and conversation. It is a simple yet profound way of reinforcing social bonds, of sharing light and fellowship to counter the isolation of the polar night. When summer arrives with the midnight sun, life moves outdoors. The constant daylight brings a palpable burst of energy. People stay up later, socializing on their doorsteps, taking their boats out for an evening fishing trip in the fjord, or hiking in the hills that surround the town. In Greenland, you are rarely truly alone. The community is a constant, reassuring presence, a source of strength, comfort, and shared identity in the face of the immense, silent landscape that is always just beyond the edge of town. The cultural soul of Greenland is its Inuit heritage, a legacy of survival and adaptation that stretches back over 4,500 years. This identity is not a relic of the past. It is a living, breathing force in modern society, a source of immense pride that is woven into the very fabric of daily life. It is heard in the cadence of the national language, seen in the motifs of its art, and felt in the deep, almost spiritual connection to the land and the sea. The Greenlandic language, Kalaallisut, is the official language of the country. It is a language born of the Arctic, with a rich and nuanced vocabulary for describing the many forms of snow, the subtle movements of ice, and the behavior of the animals that have sustained its people for millennia. The preservation of this language is seen as essential to the preservation of the nation's unique identity. Traditions are maintained as vital parts of the culture. The ancient art of the drum dance, a powerful form of storytelling and shamanistic ritual, is now primarily performed at cultural festivals, but its hypnotic rhythms still resonate in the collective consciousness. The tradition of carving continues to be a powerful medium of artistic expression. The Greenlandic economy is, and has always been, overwhelmingly dependent on the sea. The cold, clean, nutrient-rich waters of the North Atlantic are among the most productive in the world, and fishing is the undisputed engine of the nation. Prawns, Greenland halibut, and cod are the primary catches, and together they account for over 90% of the country's total exports. In every coastal town, from the capital, Nuuk, in the south, to the smaller settlements further north, the harbor is the economic heart of the community. The daily rhythm of life is often dictated by the fishing seasons, the departure and return of the trawlers and smaller boats marking the pulse of the local economy. This industry provides thousands of jobs, not only on the vessels themselves, but also in the processing plants on shore. Alongside this large-scale commercial industry, traditional hunting continues to play a vital role, both economically and culturally, particularly in the more remote regions of the north and east. Hunting for seals, whales, muskoxen, and reindeer is a way of life that has been passed down through generations. It provides a critical source of nutritious food for many families, reducing their reliance on expensive imported goods. It also supplements incomes through the sale of meat and skins within the local market. This subsistence lifestyle represents a direct and intimate connection with the natural world, but it is a way of life that faces increasing pressure from international regulations, animal rights activism, and the profound impacts of a changing climate, which disrupts the sea ice and alters the habitats of the animals. Beyond the fisheries, the public sector is the largest employer in Greenland. As a self-governing territory within the Kingdom of Denmark, Greenland receives a substantial annual block grant from the Danish government. This funding underpins the public services that are essential for a modern society, including healthcare, education, and public administration. This creates a dual economy, where the private sector is dominated by fishing, and the public sector provides stable employment for a significant portion of the population. In recent years, there has been a concerted effort to diversify the economy. Tourism is seen as a sector with significant potential, with visitors drawn by the unique culture and the breathtaking beauty of the ice-filled landscape. There is also ongoing exploration for mineral resources, including rare earth elements and precious metals, which could one day provide a new source of national income. Though this prospect also raises complex questions about environmental protection and social impact. Despite these efforts, the economy remains vulnerable, heavily reliant on a single industry and on financial support from abroad. This economic reality is a constant challenge, shaping the choices and opportunities available to the people of Greenland. The cuisine of Greenland is a direct and honest reflection of its environment. It is a diet born of necessity and ingenuity, shaped by the Arctic climate and a deep reliance on the resources of the land and sea. The traditional diet is rich in protein and healthy fats, providing the high-calorie energy required to stay warm and active in an extremely cold climate. The sea is the primary larder, offering an abundance of fish like Arctic char, cod, and halibut, as well as marine mammals like seals and whales. The land provides reindeer, muskox, and various seabirds. These ingredients are the foundation of traditional Greenlandic food. A classic national dish is swasat, a hearty and nourishing soup or stew, typically made with seal meat, but also with whale, reindeer, or seabirds. It is usually thickened with rice or barley and seasoned simply with onions and salt. One of the most iconic and culturally significant foods is matak, the raw skin and blubber of a whale, typically from a narwhal, beluga, or bowhead. It is usually cut into small cubes and eaten as is. For an outsider, it may seem unusual, but for Greenlanders, it is a cherished delicacy, prized for its unique texture and flavor. Historically, it was also a crucial source of vitamin C, essential for preventing scurvy in a land where fresh fruits and vegetables were virtually non-existent. The tradition of eating from the land, known as kalaalimengit, remains strong. It is a source of pride and a tangible connection to the culture. In Greenland, nature is not a destination. It is the very fabric of existence. The ice, the sea, the mountains, and the vast open tundra are not a backdrop to life, but an ever-present, all-encompassing reality. This constant immersion in a wild and powerful landscape fosters a relationship built on a foundation of profound respect, practical knowledge, and a deep-seated humility. Greenlanders learn from a young age that they live with nature, not in command of it. They understand its rhythms, its generosity, and its unforgiving power. This relationship is one of constant dialogue, a daily reading of the subtle signs of the wind, the water, and the ice. Outdoor life is not a hobby. It is an integral part of the culture and a source of great joy. In the brief but intense summer, when the sea ice retreats, the coastline comes alive with activity. A small motorboat is an essential possession for many families, a key to freedom and sustenance. It is used for fishing, for hunting marine mammals, for visiting relatives in a neighboring settlement, or simply for escaping to a small, secluded cabin in a fjord. The long, sunlit days of the midnight sun are spent on the water, making the most of the short season of warmth and life. Hiking in the rugged, treeless mountains is another popular activity, offering breathtaking views and a sense of profound solitude. In winter, the landscape is transformed into a world of snow and ice, and the modes of outdoor life adapt accordingly. The frozen fjords and the snow-covered tundra become vast highways for snowmobiles, which are used for travel, hunting, and recreation. In the northern and eastern regions, the tradition of dog sledding remains a vital part of life. For a hunter, a team of Greenlandic sled dogs is not just a mode of transport. They are partners, a living link to an ancient way of life. The silent glide of the sled over the snow is one of the most iconic sounds and experiences of the Arctic. Living so intimately with nature also means living with an acute awareness of risk. The weather can change with terrifying speed. A calm, sunny day can turn into a blinding snowstorm in a matter of minutes. The sea ice, essential for winter travel, can be treacherous and unpredictable. Every journey, whether by boat or by snowmobile, requires meticulous preparation and a deep, intuitive understanding of the conditions. This is knowledge that is passed down through generations, refined by personal experience and essential for survival. This life offers moments of unparalleled beauty and a sense of freedom that is almost intoxicating. But it demands constant vigilance and respect in return. movement and travel in Greenland are defined by a unique set of challenges and solutions. On this vast island, 3 times the size of France, there are no roads connecting the towns. The rugged, mountainous terrain and the colossal ice sheet make their construction impossible. This fundamental reality means that all travel between communities must be undertaken by air or by sea. The national airline, Air Greenland, is the country's lifeline. Its fleet of robust aircraft, designed for short runways and challenging weather conditions, connects the towns within Greenland and provides the essential link to the outside world, primarily through flights to Denmark and Iceland. These flights are not just for passengers. They carry mail, fresh food supplies, and critical medical equipment, making the airline an indispensable piece of the national infrastructure. During the ice-free summer months, a network of coastal ferries provides another vital transportation link. Ships navigate the fjord-lined coast, carrying passengers and cargo on journeys that can last for several days. For many Greenlanders, the ferry is a more affordable, though much slower, alternative to flying. It is also a social hub, a place where people from different towns can meet and travel together, watching the spectacular, ever-changing panorama of mountains and icebergs glide by. However, all travel in Greenland is subject to the ultimate authority of the weather. Flights are frequently delayed or cancelled due to heavy fog, high winds, or snowstorms. Ferry schedules can be disrupted by the sudden arrival of sea ice, even in the middle of summer. This uncertainty is an accepted part of life. Greenlanders possess a deep well of patience, long accustomed to the reality that plans can and will change. On a local level, transportation is a blend of the modern and the traditional. Within the towns, people get around on foot, by bicycle, or by car, though the road networks are limited to the town's immediate vicinity. The moment you leave the town, the road simply ends. In winter, the snowmobile becomes the primary mode of personal transport, an essential tool for hunting, fishing on the ice, or visiting friends and family. In the far north and east, the dog sled is still used by hunters, a testament to its enduring efficiency in the Arctic environment. This unique transportation system reinforces the sense of isolation. A trip to the nearest hospital for specialized treatment might require a flight. Attending a family event in another town can be a major logistical undertaking. This physical separation underscores the importance of community self-sufficiency and the deep bonds that hold each town together. It is a life where distance is measured not in kilometers, but in the time, cost, and weather conditions it takes to travel. A constant reminder of the vast, untamed wilderness that separates each island of human habitation. For the young people of Greenland, life is a dynamic interplay between a deep-rooted cultural heritage and the powerful currents of the globalized world. Their journey begins in the education system, which is designed to foster a strong sense of Greenlandic identity. School is compulsory for all children, and the primary language of instruction is Greenlandic. This is a cornerstone of the nation's cultural policy, ensuring that the language remains vibrant and central to the lives of the next generation. Danish is taught as a mandatory second language from an early age, as it remains the key to higher education and broader communication. The curriculum is a thoughtful blend of standard academic subjects and lessons that are specific to Greenlandic culture and history, from traditional myths and legends to the practical knowledge of the local environment. Like their peers across the globe, Greenlandic teenagers are connected to the world through the internet. In towns with reliable connectivity, smartphones are ubiquitous. Social media, streaming services, and online gaming are as much a part of their social lives as they are for young people in Copenhagen or New York. They listen to international music, follow global fashion trends, and are keenly aware of the world beyond their shores. This creates a generation that is confidently Greenlandic, yet also cosmopolitan in its outlook. They are navigating the complex task of forging an identity that honors the traditions of their ancestors while embracing the opportunities of the 21st century. Upon completing their secondary education, many young Greenlanders face a critical choice. While Greenland has its own university in the capital, Nuuk, the range of specialized fields of study is limited. For those who wish to become doctors, engineers, or scientists, pursuing higher education often means leaving home and moving to Denmark. This is a significant life event, a journey from a small, close-knit community where everyone knows your name to a large, anonymous European city. It is a time of immense personal growth and learning, but it can also be a period of profound cultural adjustment and homesickness. After years of study abroad, the decision of whether to return to Greenland is a deeply personal one. Many feel a strong sense of duty and a desire to bring their newly acquired skills back home to contribute to the development of their country. These returning graduates are the future leaders, the innovators, and the custodians of the culture. They are the generation tasked with the critical challenge of building a sustainable and prosperous future for Greenland, one that balances economic progress with the preservation of their unique cultural heritage and the protection of their fragile Arctic environment. Life in Greenland, for all its beauty and strong community bonds, is not without its significant challenges. The realities of living in a remote Arctic nation create a set of difficulties that are a constant part of daily existence. The cost of living is one of the most immediate and persistent issues, because nearly all consumer goods, from fresh produce to electronics, must be imported over vast distances. Prices are exceptionally high. This places a heavy burden on family budgets and can limit access to a varied and healthy diet. Fuel and electricity are also expensive, making the simple act of heating a home in the depths of winter a major financial consideration. The profound isolation affects every aspect of life. While technology has bridged some of the communication gaps, the physical distance remains. Access to specialized healthcare is a major concern. While local clinics can handle routine issues, serious medical conditions or emergencies often require an air evacuation to the hospital in Nuuk, or in some cases, all the way to Denmark. This can be a stressful and difficult experience for patients and their families. The same logistical hurdles apply to education, business, and even simple social visits. Life in Greenland is a study in contrasts. It is a place of immense, frozen landscapes and incredible human warmth. It is a society where ancient survival skills are practiced alongside the use of the latest technology. It is a nation with a deep and proud history, now navigating its path in a complex and interconnected world. To live here is to understand the delicate balance between resilience and vulnerability, between isolation and community. It is to accept the power of nature and to find your place within its grand, unyielding rhythm. This is a life shaped by the sea, defined by the ice, and held together by the unbreakable bonds of family and culture. On the vast, silent edge of the Arctic, the people of Greenland continue to build their future, a quiet testament to the enduring strength of the human spirit in the most extraordinary of homes.